All right, guys. Today I'm joined by Eric Morley, co-founder and COO of Bluesee, the 25-year branding agency behind the Brandpower framework, working with leading consumer and B2B brands. Their strong point is in helping clients with their digital media so it's more profitable, achieving an ROI, and leveraging AI to realign the campaigns to get better results. He's been recognized as an OC Orange County Visionary by the LA Times, nominated for the Experience in Entrepreneurship Award, and actively leads community causes like the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, supporting men's health and cancer awareness. Eric, it's great to have you on here today.
Hey, well, thank you very much for the opportunity and glad we have a chance to catch up and look forward to talking to you today.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump in. Probably the best place to start is given that you have 25 years of experience in this space, what do you feel like has been the key to scaling your agency to the level that you're at today?
We kind of have a mantra here is two things is always challenge yourself and always get outside your and always be learning. And marketing has changed. Marketing changes by the day and everything that is involved about how we work with clients is always about learning, always about changing, and always about really what works. And because what worked 3 years ago doesn't work no more. What worked 10 years ago has that ship has already sailed. And so it's very important to stay relevant. And the most important part is always be learning.
I can appreciate that,
Yeah.
especially in this space where the technology is evolving so fast. I feel like in marketing, it's almost like you're always like looking at the next thing to implement. Would you agree?
You know what? I would totally 100% agree with it. Is even in our past discussions, we've talked about this is that is marketing used to be a creative function and it used to be a messaging function. And now it's really driven by tech and tech solutions and tech stacks. And it's really interesting is that our work really has transitioned over to being utilizing technology to reach people versus utilizing only creative to reach people. And so that's the big change in things. And it's really interesting is that as an agent is we have different clients across all different brands, all different categories, anything from business to consumer to business to even nonprofits and even companies that are like making like amazing changes. And what happens is we get these when we start having the discussions on it and it's like, well, do you do this platform? Do you do this platform? Do you do this platform? And because now we're in a technologically based company is our teams have to be versed in every platform possible. And those new platforms and those new tech stacks change daily. And so, it goes to the point is that when a client comes in, they say, okay, well, we've got this new, we need you to run the marketing through this. It's like, okay, great. So we do three things is we learn the platform, we test the platform, and then we implement the platform. And so in the past, it was just you placed the media and then you just backed out. Nowadays is that it's more so you have to really own that space and be very involved in that space. So, yeah.
I know we mentioned earlier that you have some pretty cool strategies for leveraging AI to do some of everything that you just mentioned for you.
Great.
Is there anything that you could share with the audience or that you feel comfortable sharing with the audience?
Only because it's you. Absolutely. I'm all joking aside is that my background is media buying and media planning. I've grown through the whole years of media buying and media planning. And the thing now is that the client's place digital media goes anything from connected TV to multi-platform executions, like anything like Meta, Google, TikTok, conquesting videos, geofencing, etc. There's the list goes on and on. To even, integrating their media and podcasts and etc. So the thing that it is that my biggest struggle was agencies make money. I'm just going to kind of take you behind the black curtain. Is agencies make money three ways: is creative services, media placement, and management. Those are kind of the three focuses on it. An agency will make a commission for the media they place. They will charge you X amount for the creative. And then for management is they will charge you the management time on it. And what happens is that an agency is really motivated about their talent in-house. Their talent in-house that can do the job. So if they have a client that says, okay, I need a TikTok campaign, I need a geofencing campaign, and I can connected TV campaign, is the agency kind of looks and says, well, okay, we know we've got someone in house. We got Sally in the back that knows TikTok. The geofencing is okay. Well, we can maybe sub that out to someone else, but we don't know connected TV. So we're going to kind of fake it till we make it. And so what's going to happen is they're going to go on Google, they're going to look for a connected TV provider, and they're going just like, okay, great. You know what? It's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, $50,000 for the media buy, and they're just going to place it. And so we call those the leave and go agencies on it. Then you have the media houses, and the media houses are okay. Well, the campaign, if you don't have $100,000 on the campaign, they're really not going to help you because they work, their whole goal is to place large amounts in media. And so then there's the in between agencies, the agencies that are driven by data, and data is always associated back and forth with data driven decisions, improved ROI, and multi platform executions. So, what happens is, like in the case of Bluesee, is we have a framework called Brandpower. Brandpower is really a focused area in everything that we do here. And so, everything in the media, digital media, is AI powered and also machine learning. And so what happens is, like, for example, is when we place media, is our team places the media and then the AI learns from the campaign data and then it automatically adjusts it, targeting, bidding, and creative placements for the optimal performance of the whole campaign. And like last time we were talking, I was telling you about a campaign that we placed for a restaurant chain a French restaurant franchise. And, our campaign is that it was a test. They have 60 locations. And we took 4 locations, say, okay, we want to do these LTOs, limited time offers. And they want to get out their limited time offer to their marketplace. So they came to us and says, okay, we just want to get this out to everyone we can. I said, okay, that's great. But if you're getting to everyone you can, are those really going to be your audience? And I said, who is your audience? And so everything that we do here really ties into customer personas, but we typically ask the client up front and they said, well, everyone's our audience. It's like, well, no, it's not. There's people that will come to your restaurant. There's people that will consistently not go to your restaurant. And then there's the people that are in betweeners. And so our objective is that to create the best ROI on it. And so we want to connect with the best customers that either are in your space or that go to a location like yours and in your same general area. Because then what we want to do is we want to target those people. So when they're in those restaurants, they're sitting and they're scrolling. I always say it's like if you really want to go through a really good test is go to a restaurant, just take an eyeball count of how many people are there in the restaurant. Say there's 30 people in the restaurant. And then you look at how many people are actually on their phone. You'll be amazed it's like 20, 25. And it's like, okay, this is where it's going. But so what we do is we place the digital media and we focused on optimization of it. So what happens is the first hour of the media, it's constantly scanning who is responding to it. Then it ties into lookalike audiences. And then we also kick in a performance aptitude on it, which ties into all their competitors. So all the competitive restaurants in that area also, when you're sitting there eating, you're seeing these ads because we want to introduce them to the LTO. And so from that is all that data is integrated. And then the AI and the machine learning is grinding all this information within milliseconds and saying, okay, you know what? We reached X amount of people. Out of those X amount of people, only 7% are our key target audience, are the people we want in our location. And then it scans lookalike audiences with 7%. So it gets into very close to the 100% projectile at that point. And then it starts marketing to those people. Why is that so important? Is if you're dropping 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 on a campaign, is you want to make sure that you're marketing to the right person. And I always use this example is, okay, you see a TV ad, but it's maybe you don't have children, but it's all of a sudden it's diapers that are on it. And it's like, well, why are they showing it to me? It's like they really missed the boat. So they spent money on me, but there's no need for me to buy that product. We only want people to review and be tied into the ads that have a need and have a propensity to buy your product on it. So we always focus on these pillars is everything's AI powered optimization, real-time adjustments. So it's really interesting is that we can start the campaign. Our team goes out to lunch, typically for an hour. They come back in and it's already maximized the live changes on everything. So it's everything from the performance insights to maximize the results. And then you look at it, so the campaign has changed on it. And then we always do an A/B test because what happens is two different messages, two different creative. We always want to figure out what pulls better. So if one pulls 60%, one pulls 40%, okay, that's good to know. But that 40% of the people is what is the propensity for those people to buy? Maybe there's a niche in there that we are seeing, and then we replicate those people. And then the 60%, we replicate those people. So, the basic outcome is improved ROI. Smarter decisions mean lower cost per acquisition, better target, and stronger returns for the ad spend. Some clients say, okay, this is great. I want to go ahead and stop this location and put this location as test. Okay, well, you just spent all this money building these models. You probably shouldn't do that because you're already starting to create a flow. It's almost like you've got boxes. Say you focus on 4 boxes and dollars are put in those boxes on it. If you get rid of one of the boxes, you have to get rid of those dollars. You have to start from scratch again. So it ties back in, goes back to multi-platform execution. So, and we do this with companies for trade shows, is if they're going to be spending money on a trade show, the propensity of a person walking by the booth and falling in love with your brand is next to nil. It just doesn't exist. So what we do is we do several steps before is we start targeting these people that went to this trade show the year prior. So they start seeing ads on their social. Then what happens is when the people get there, they get geofenced. And so they start seeing the ads. The people in the location afterwards, where they're followed for 3 months. And we typically use a lead magnet where it's a download of something of some sort. So we get their email address. So then we can email market to them at that point. And everything goes through a CRM. So everything's tracked and so forth. So basically what happens is the AI adapts across all the channels on it. And I also really want to say it's like, you got two things is that you got machine efficiency and then you have human strategy. So what we do is we blend a deep marketing expertise with AI technology to build intelligent campaigns. And then we have people that are really smart behind them that really look at it and make sure we align and ask the questions, is this the best we can do? So that's kind of what sets Bluesee apart is that anyone can place media, but do you really have a dashboard 24 hours a day that you can go to and see the results? And like one of the tests that we've got going on right now is that our test is they have this particular franchise has 60 locations. Out of the 60 locations, we're focusing on 4 low performing locations. Out of those low performing locations is we have the AI powered digital ads out there. It's basically to launch a new product line that they're offering. And then what we're able to do is find out exactly who the market that's going to respond to it. And then the people that respond to it is we mimic other people that are like that and get rid of the people that don't respond to the ads through the AI. And then what happens is the people that hit the ads on it is we track them back to the location. So it's almost like a big brother kind of concept. So George Orwell kind of had something when he was thinking and talking about Big Brother, but this is really it because, like, for example, in this test campaign, we had over 800 people that saw the ads actually go into the location within a 1 week period of seeing the ads. The campaign budget was $1,500 per location or $500 per month for it, per location. Then what we learned is that $6,000 campaign for 3 months on it actually generated over $30,000. So now what we can do is we can take the same strategy and execute it across all the locations to achieve results of knowing what a dollar spent will get you, bring you back 6 times that value. So that's a little about kind of what sets us apart and why we do what we do on it. And I truly believe is that if you're really not following what AI is doing for media planning and media buying, you're just going to be, kind of just throwing money out there. You look at the past medias, it's like you can't really figure out, it does it work, it does not. I always talk about, is your marketing a direction or a distraction? Is it ends to a means, or is it just to kind of just give you something to do? And that's very important. This has to be an ends to a means, and it cannot be a distraction or a shiny bullet. It has to be really, measured deep down. So that's a little about why we do what we do. The other thing I always want to touch on is connected TV. It's kind of the buzzword out there right now. Not a lot of people execute on it, but the thing about it is that there's brands are starting to go towards it because it's very cost effective if done right. And so like regular linear TV, like your regular channels, if you subscribe to a cable system, is they have like about 800 data points. Connected TV has 800,000 data points. So I can really strongly target people that have the propensity to have a need for your products, needs, or services. And then we can actually track them right back into a location or track them into a buy online or et cetera, et cetera. That's a little about what really sets Bluesea apart in our digital AI powered optimized media buying and media planning. So that was kind of a long way around the house. But I hope I answered all your questions there. So
No, you answered a lot of questions and provided a lot of really interesting insight. I guess what comes to mind is it gonna be possible for anybody to compete in the marketplace if they're not leveraging AI?
I'm going to say no. And like there's a digital initiative that we have here that's called Web ID. And Web ID is what all of our clients are just going towards right now. What it is that people have websites, right?
Mm,
And the objective is to drive people to your website, right? So you drive them to, several ways. You can go through paid traffic, you can go through organic traffic. You can get them there one way or another. But do you really know who they are? Do you really know what pages they look at and how much time they spent? Do you know what their email address is? Do you know what their website is? Do you know where they're located? Do you know if they own a home or not? Do you know if, where their financial standings are? How many kids they have and so forth. So we're able to do this whole new thing, which is extraordinarily cost effective for clients. And the cost is $800 a month. What happens is that you actually put it on their website and they get emails once a day of showing all the people come to the website. Then they have a dashboard that 24 hours a day that they can go to. Why is this so important? Because now they can take that data and they can push it over for all their other marketing initiatives. And so that's super key. So like a company that sells something, and it could be B2C or B2B, they're both business to human, is I can actually tell you on an ongoing basis who's coming to your website. It's kind of like a ring. I call it like a ring, like those ring,
cameras in the
like
door?
cameras at your door is historically is when someone would knock on your door or ring your doorbell, you had no idea who it is, right?
Yeah.
Now I get my ring at home. I can look at my phone. It's like, oh, okay, it's the solicitor. I'm not going to go there. But
Instant mail.
or it's Amazon, yeah, and it's like, you know exactly who it is. So if I can tell you who's coming to your website, because people come to your website for 3 reasons, is A, they have an interest in your company, B, they're a competitor, or C, they're looking for a job. That's the primary things on it. And but as a sales team is like, okay, if I see that John Q. Smith from a company that I sell to is coming to the website. He's coming to the website for a reason. And now I can
Mm,
retarget him I can remarket to him. I could use an email marketing campaign. I can integrate all these into connected TV and only serve those people ads if I want. And so if there's 100 people come to the website, I can just target their TV ads on that. Or, you know what? I can actually, now I've got their email addresses, is I can actually do a lookalike audience on Meta to target them. I always want to point out, and it's like, everyone gets super, super excited about it. There are normal companies that do this kind of service. They get about 10 to 20% of the people that come to the website. And the reason being is a lot of, there is a good mix of people that have their cookies turned off or the localization turned off or something of some sort that blocks it blocks that data from going over to the side on it. And so, but our system actually gets 20 to 50%. And so I always want to make sure people know it, but still 20 to 50% is a lot better than 0%. And so the web ID is just, we call it Web ID Pro because it is the absolute, at the end of the day is people come to companies because they have a need. And if I can tell you who's coming to your company and who wants to buy your products, that's going to make your life so much easier. So that's what we do.
For sure. That's powerful.
Yeah.
It's like some ninja stuff there. Thanks for sharing, Eric.
Great.
I'm curious, how are you now, given everything that you've shared, how are you then taking that and leveraging it into your client acquisition process?
It's a great question. A lot in what we do is for current clients. And I do a lot of speaking on, speaking circuits and so forth, and which pushes people to our website to learn more. And then from that, I have the web ID on the website, and then I'm able to get them into an email funnel. And I have a series of emails that go out to them based upon, why they came to us in the first place and keeping it very fluid and very focused on it. Because at the end of the day is if I don't know who I'm selling to and how I'm getting that message out to them, I'm just going to be another person on it. But I'm always fascinated because clients find us for one reason or another. And I even look at, if they're looking for how to create their brand is okay, our brand strategy department here is I consider them the best in the business. So they focus on brand strategy, clarity. And then it's like, well, how are you going to do ongoing marketing on it? Okay, well, then we have our marketing communications team. And then how do we handle PR and then also public affairs? And it's basically it's so I didn't call it PR. I need to think of another name for this department. This is run by Kara Stewart. She's a 25-year veteran of like the biggest agencies in and around our region. She's just amazing. But the thing about it is, there's paid traffic, there's earned traffic. It's over above everything else is like different strategies as far as getting those stories out is changed over years. And so her division, her department is helping people getting those stories out. And it's kind of funny because I was listening to a podcast this morning and it was about storytelling because everyone's saying, okay, we need to do storytelling. And the guy that was leading the podcast says, okay, what does storytelling mean to you? So he took 10 people and both were CMO level, VP level, et cetera. And all 10 had different answers to what storytelling was. I was like, really? That's interesting. To me, storytelling is truly understanding who your audience is and helping them get what they need through the way your company provides products or services. And it's like, okay, you know what? If I'm saying, hey, Chris, it's like, you're going to go travel. Okay. And I'm a travel agent I'm not going to say is like, we're the number one travel agent that provides the best services, the best prices, the whole thing I'm going to say, it's like, hey, Chris, I know you travel and you're probably love to go to Montenegro this is a really exciting package that we offer that gets you to do this because I know you like this. And then the storytelling pillars kind of fall off on it. And it kind of goes to a story arch, and that is very important. So, but I really kind of found that fascinating is that different people have different ways of looking at storytelling. But if the brand doesn't connect with the person, And if that person doesn't have an ideal reason for being on your, you know, that being there, kind of like the diaper situation I explained to you earlier, why are we doing it? But then now, if I leverage all the AI and the machine learning, I'm only targeting the people that want to go to Montenegro. I'm not talking to the people that want to go to Portugal. So that's kind of the whole thing. And everyone lays tracks down digitally in what they want is, especially, I mean, I don't know how it happens is I'll click on Amazon. Oh, I know how that happens now, but I'm kind of being a little, all of a sudden is I get all that content thrown at me. And it's like, I was looking the other day for a new closet situation. I was thinking like, well, my closet kind of opens up like this. But what happens? I get this room inside, which is a good 2 feet that's not used. So I went to Amazon. It's like, well, do you guys have something that goes on the back of the door? And so I can actually do it. And I was looking, it was kind of cool. There was actually several applications. And then all of a sudden I'm funneled with ads that were trying to sell me new closets. No, they're not trying to sell me the back of the door thing. But then Amazon starts, funneling all that to me. So it was like, okay, that's great. But then again, is that, we have a client called Starstream. This is the company that everyone has to watch. What they do is they will tie in the Starlink and it ties into a small computer and it has cameras attached to it. And so what happens is it gives you a live feed of all that video content that can be pushed across all social media channels. It can be pushed across websites. It can be pushed across anything digitally that gets people to see what you're doing. I was at an event last night and I met a guy named Mark. He runs a very large fishing product company, actually one of the largest in the world. And he goes, "Oh my God, this would be great because we do all of these events. And 90% of the places that we go to has no Wi-Fi. So they tie into the Starlink, they have the Starbox, and they have the cameras. So the cameras push the content through the Starbox. Starbox pushes it through Starlink. It goes to the satellites and it goes all through these websites instantly." He goes, "Well, our company, we have over 900 different social media channels. Can we funnel it all into 900 social media channels?" Which is kind of weird. A company usually has one or two or three. They have 900.
900, that's
So
crazy.
as fishing is, I was like, okay, there's bass fishing, there's deep sea fishing, there's stream fishing. Okay, but then you got trout fishing and then you got salmon fishing. So it's like they're talking to different people with the different products. I was like, 900. It's like, okay, the matrix is just going to be like, crazy, but it can be done. So
Definitely need AI to manage 900
oh,
different
I'm scared. But, the whole unit is, you think about this is basically is like if you have a media center, okay, a media center is probably four or $500,000 and you have to have people running, etc. Is at Starstream Pro, the cost is $3,800 for it. And I was like, wow, okay. That's amazing. So the world's coming down to being 100% connected. And then data transmission is the future. So now,
That's
now through your
a
mind,
little scary to think about, but I mean, we're already there.
yeah, we really are. And, if you kind of look at where was content a year ago, where is content now? And then how do you do relevant content? Say I'm have a reason for sending content up. I am filming content live, but then I can integrate commercials or speaking events or speaking about different products into it automatically. So it's almost like integrated commercials. So you're actually kind of creating your own TV channel within a TV channel. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I mean, it's the possibilities are really endless there.
Right.
And so thinking about using everything that you've been talking about to grow your agency, and I find that with agency owners, there's kind of really two paths. I want to find a select few clients and become long-term partners with them, and then you have the other side where, they're looking for more volume and they want to just continue growing and growing. Where do you see yourself in your agency?
That's always a good question. It's always a great question. Is first and foremost, I have to understand my place in the marketplace. Our job is to help our clients do stuff that they can't do. Is most of our clients have in-house art departments, but they don't have branding departments. They don't have filming departments. They don't have commercial departments. They don't have a podcast studio in-house. We have all of that. And so what happens is we help them get to where they need to go. But then again, is like I mentioned about Starstream, is the strategy that they came to us about is like, well, how do we focus on three sectors, which is lifestyle, government, and private entities. And okay, well, we need to do some like amazing work. And we can't just stay into a niche of a geographic area. We have to go worldwide. And so from that's how we do it. Going back to your question, is it just an agency as a few clients or is it an agency of many clients? I think we kind of fall in the middle, to be honest with you, is I don't want to be, I think that having a one client, you're kind of like the clients that have, I'll use an example, Monster Energy. Monster Energy would do work for them. They have a 60-person art department in-house. We do the work that their in-house department can't do. And so, or doesn't have the capabilities of doing, or doesn't have the experience to do, or doesn't have the manpower to do. And, it's typically is nowadays is an agency is they're going to have two levels of people is they're going to have the people that are the tech people that are the executioners of it. And then they're going to have the fulfillment people. And then they're going to have the agency out here that does the wild stuff like we do with the digital media and, all the content we produce and so forth. So it's interesting because I truly believe is that as long as Bluesee can always stay in the future and make sure that everything that we offer is more specific targeting their audience and gets closer to that audience and replicate that audience and own that audience, the better Bluesee is going to be successful. It's kind of like I look at other service providers as like lawyers does a lawyer really want to have three big clients and they all that? Well, I think it'd be kind of good, but typically what happens now is we have lawyer in our pocket with ChatGPT now is like, hey, can you write a contract based on this? Hey, it gets pretty close and they do it. But, the days of
I had
having,
ChatGPT write a contract this
oh,
morning.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of wild. It's like, okay. I mean, and so I think to answer your question is we're the middle ground people. I don't want to be a burn and churn where it's like we have 100 salespeople just plugging along, diving for dollars on it and, selling media. It's like, our team here is intimately passionate, understanding what works and what doesn't work in making sure that it's successful versus, okay, you get, here's the price sheet, you get this and this for this. It's like, okay, now those agencies are, I mean, I think they're very growth oriented, but it's not who we are. So I grew up in an ad family. My mother was in direct mail. My father was in printing. And so we do things the way that I truly believe is that you're not a mass market merchandiser. You're the market that actually does things good. But see, even like, you know, part of our services is on the PR side is we help consumer companies get into all the gifting programs. So there's thousands and thousands of gifting programs. Southwest Airlines has one, American Express has one, Inc. Magazine has one, Wall Street Journal has one, the whole thing. And so what we do is we help clients get into these gifting programs. And so if there's, you know, anything from Christmas, Mother's Day, Father's Day, the whole thing is that they market this. And that's like a really unique service that we kind of fell into because several of our clients said, hey, we need to do this. We just don't know how to do it. And luckily enough is Kara from our PR lead here is that she knows how to do all that stuff. She knows how to make that magic happen. And so it always goes back to, at the end of the day, is that we help companies with their goals, their objectives, their strategies, and their tactics on it. We have a client that, right now that is, they said they want to be the largest sought after in their particular segment in the Western United States. So, okay, cool. Okay, here's our objectives. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's the strategy that's going to help us reach that. Here's what we're going to do. And that's what you
Got it. And if you
mind
had
it's
yeah,
mind
well,
blowing everything in marketing and how everything's changed.
I feel like it's gonna continue to change.
Oh, I
Like
know.
you said in the beginning, it's just constantly evolving, which I think also is what makes this such an interesting space because you just always have to be on your toes.
It's even to the point is I was looking at some of our old client files from years ago. I was just, trying to go through and get rid of like old boxes and old stuff. I mean, we're primarily for the last 5 years digitized, but we still have a warehouse here of old stuff that I just have to get rid of. And it hit me. It's like this one client we had 15 years ago is we had a marketing director there and we worked with the front receptionist. Because marketing was kind of seen as like, okay, we can just have that person do it. Okay, they can do that. They're not building the stuff, whatever. They're not, but it's just like the level of expertise now and the requirements is like, okay, you know what? It's typically a CMO, it's typically a VP, it's typically directors underneath that. Then there's managers of each segment that goes out to each segment that they work out. And then they've got the fulfillment people in the end. It's like, wow, marketing has gone to a point where it's not a nice to have, it's a we need to have. So
I would agree. I mean, obviously, if you can run a business without marketing, you got a pretty good business, but that's pretty rare.
how do you, I mean, just it's interesting because before getting on the phone is, I always challenge myself on Fridays to write a blog and I put it on my LinkedIn and, I like to share it with people just to get people thinking for the weekend. And, is your, gosh, well, what did I title it? It was actually kind of crazy. Is your marketing a direction or a distraction? Because people can go through and say, well, I want to do this now. But is it a direction or a distraction? Is it just giving you something to do or is it actually there to achieve the goals of the company? So,
And that's the hard part is staying moving in the right direction
yeah,
without
well,
all
it's
the
it's moving in the right directions. Like I have 3 boys. And where we live, it's called Green Valley. It's a subsector of a bigger city. And in Green Valley is we have these swimming pools. And one swimming pool is called the swim team pool. Every summer, 200 kids get together and they become on this Green Valley swim team. And my boys are equally spaced, like 3 years apart. And so my youngest boy, when he was swimming, is he always aspired to look at his older brother. And so he would steal the older brother's Speedo and try to put it on. And he'd be walking out of the house and all of a sudden it starts falling off because it's too big and stuff like that. Or he would tie it up and he'd walk around the swim deck like he's just the biggest, baddest guy out there. And when he started swimming it would be a 25-meter pool. And so they swim, they have a swim lane, but he would swim back and forth, go under the lane, go other, just like, and you know what? 30 minutes later, they get to the end. But as time goes on, my older boy learned is that the fastest way from point A to point B is a direct line. So he got really fast. So basically doing that 25 meters, it would be X amount of time. But when you're younger, you're doing, say it took 15 minutes when you're younger, but it takes you 2 minutes when you're a little older. And I think that's has to do with a lot of marketing too, is that as you become more understanding of the marketplace, as you learn more about it, is you're able to understand exactly how to go faster and not focus on your marketing being a distraction, but being a direction.
I think that's a really good place to wrap up. If you're okay with it, Eric, I have one last question here that I think would be beneficial to anyone listening. If you could only give one piece of advice to any other up and coming agency that wants to have a level of success that you guys have been able to achieve at Bluesee, what would it be?
It's like saying, how do you stop? How do you create world peace? It's such a loaded question is that I would say have complete 100% clarity. Have 100% clarity where you're going because that's going to start your journey on it and have an understanding of your fulfillment process, have an understanding of your strategic process. And then, you know what? Also understand truly how you're to get clients. Because if you're not going to have those together, you're just going to be kind of like fumbling around.
Swimming around in circles.
Spinning around in circles, exactly. Yeah.
So, direction in your marketing and clarity.
Let's start with clarity. And, it's the most important thing is that who you are, who you help, not who you sell, but who you help. And at the end of the day, it's like why you do it in the first place. everyone at Bluesee is like, we focus on servant leadership. We're here to serve our clients to help them get what they need to do. And that's without that mindset, you're just a sales organization. Nothing wrong with service providers that are sales organizations, but it's not the kind of partner you want. It's not the kind of partner you want as an agency, someone that's going to help you get to that promised land. It's someone that just wants to sell you something so they get the commission on it, so they can go on and have a nice life. I mean, we
To the
truly
next one.
it's about the passion of driving business forward. So I didn't give you that one nugget, but my one nugget is that really take the time and create the clarity that's going to help you get to the next step. Or,
Thank you for that, Eric.
I think, you know what, actually, let me just throw it out there is that there's a lot of people that if you're going to do it, find people that have already done it and just get them as a mentor. Super important.
Thanks for sharing, Eric.
No
For
worries.
anyone that wants to find you, where's the best place to find you if they want to learn more about anything that you chatted about here today? How can they reach you?
Digitally, well, we're located in Costa Mesa, California. We're about 8 miles from Disneyland, about 2 miles, 3 miles from the beach, right behind John Wayne Airport. Digitally I would say LinkedIn is the best, is Eric Morley at LinkedIn under Bluesee. That'd be fine. And all my contact information's on there. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show
All
and
right.
thanks for sharing.
Cool. Such a great conversation with you. And as always, appreciate the conversations with you, Chris. And, it's always just stay in touch and let's keep talking and keep chatting and love always hearing about all your successes and your journey as well. So I say you and I do a podcast where I interview you and learn about everything that you have because you've got a really amazing background and I know your fans and your listeners would love to hear it. So
I'm up for it. Whenever you're ready, let's do it.
perfect. Let's do it. All
Thanks,
right.
Eric.